live coming to you. It's been over a week since we did a show. I almost forgot how to do it, but not really.
No.
I'm excited for this show. We're coming out of the gates after a week, almost a week and a half. I've been missing it. This is my oxygen. I love it. So Rachel,
yes.
Introduce yourself. Let everyone know who you are, and here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
We're gonna share with them where it started,
all right.
where you're at today, where you see yourself going, and we're gonna chuck that down.
Okay.
And pull out those golden nuggets. You ready?
All right.
Let's do this.
I am Rachel Arbuckle, and I own a company called 2000 Paces Productions.
Okay, say that again, because
Sure. 2000 Paces Productions, and 2000 Paces in biblical times or ancient times represented a day's journey.
Okay.
And I am trying to capture my client's journey, so that's where I came up with the name.
So let's go back though a little bit.
Okay.
Right. So
all right.
I know you were in the Navy.
I was.
And
yep.
you were before that a Navy brat, as you guys always say. It's not mine. I'm just repeating.
How rude.
I'm just repeating. And you know, I work
Yeah.
with intention, so I don't care.
That's right. Right.
So,
I love it. Yes.
we were talking about that. We were talking about let's jump to there real quick. We were talking about we were talking about the two major fears that I believed and I speak on is the fear of change and the fear of what other people think.
Yeah.
And as soon as I said the fear of what other people think, her eyes, she's
Sure.
fidgeting, right?
Yeah.
A little bit because that's the real. That's what so many people get concerned about. And I talk about living your life with intention. When your intention is pure, right, you become bulletproof. So I know we were hitting some golden nuggets, and we're going to come back to that.
Okay.
And I want you to share some of the things that we talked about before we went on.
Okay.
Yeah, and what you think. See?
All right, with the world, huh?
Love it, love it, love it. So, Navy brat, how was it?
I was young. My dad was a Navy dentist, and my mom was a Navy nurse. Prior, they actually met at Balboa Hospital, where I was stationed.
Okay.
My first duty station in San Diego. We lived in Okinawa and Washington and Maryland, and it's just kind of getting acclimated to a lot of change.
So, when you lived in Okinawa, how old were you?
I was very young.
How was it? Do you remember it? Or?
The only thing I remember, I was in kindergarten, I just remember my hair was a lot brighter. And
right.
I remember everybody wanted to touch my hair.
Yeah, you didn't actually blend in.
Not
right?
so much.
I get it.
I usually
don't. I get it. If
right.
anybody knows, I get it.
Right.
So you moved out there when you were young?
Yeah, I traveled around quite a bit when I was very young, and then lived in San Diego most of my life up until I joined the Navy.
All right. You lived in this bubble?
I did. It's a great bubble.
But somebody has to do it, right?
Yeah, I'm doing my time.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. But you did live on the East Coast a little bit, so you got the East Coast flavor.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of East Coast family, so
okay.
I can
That's right.
relate.
That's right. Jersey in the house.
Yeah. Woo!
Jersey, Philly, everything.
Jersey, New York,
and
Philly.
Tri-state area.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Love it.
Absolutely.
So, how was school? How were you? Were you a good student? Were you an athlete? What was your thing?
Let's move on to the next question.
Now we have to stay there. Here's the thing, right? Is people want to get to know who you truly are,
sure.
right? And when you can learn how to wear your scars with pride,
okay,
right? You become bulletproof.
All right.
It creates a freedom that you never thought was possible. And here's the other thing.
Okay.
Here's the most important. You ready?
Okay.
If you get one thing out of me and you meeting, is you made it. You were bad enough to make it through.
Right.
So now it's your obligation to share that, and your story's not about you.
Okay.
Right. So wear those scars with
Yeah.
pride. So
sure.
School, how was it?
I probably didn't try as hard as I could have.
Okay. Me neither.
What's that?
Me neither.
Yeah. So.
And I think you're in the majority, not the minority.
Good.
No,
Great.
absolutely, and that's just being real.
Sure.
That's the real.
Sure.
So you knew you could have done better. What do you think held you back from doing better?
Wow, that is a really good question. Fear.
Fear of success?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure that's held me back historically in prior years until I finally made a conscious decision to put that aside.
When did that aha moment come in?
I think I've had a couple of those aha moments.
Atta girl.
Yeah,
Love it.
I don't think I can define it as just one.
Okay.
So since we're being completely real, here's my life.
Let's do it.
So I was a teenage mom.
Okay.
And so I had my son when I was 18.
Awesome.
And just kind of got
cool is that?
thrown. Well, I mean,
really.
it's cool now because my son's incredible.
Right. But it's cool
yeah.
back then, even though you didn't realize it, because it made you, figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It made you figure it out.
It was absolutely. It was kind of okay. I have two choices here. I can be a statistic, or I can do something with my life.
Right.
So I did. I was a single mom, and I was a teenage mom. And when my son was about a year old, I made the decision to join the Navy. So
just to do better.
Only to take care of my son.
So you ready for this?
Okay.
This is how cool this is. You ready?
Okay.
We talked about your why.
Okay.
And when your why becomes big enough, it's going to pull you through. But when your why becomes bigger than you, you become unstoppable. And your why was bigger than you.
Love it.
Huh?
Look at that.
Girl.
This guy's brilliant.
No, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. It's just real.
Right.
I love that. So
he was a huge why for me.
Of course. He was everything, right?
Absolutely.
So you went into the Navy. Now, obviously, you could take him with you when you're like, how was that?
Yeah, it was, I tell people it was kind of the hardest and the most rewarding thing that I've ever done.
In what way?
Because I had to go away to boot camp, and I had to leave him for a couple months.
Right.
And I left him with my parents, and being away from him, having to have that distance, that why that was so important to me.
How
and
was
that? It got me through all the push-ups and all the sit-ups.
Right?
While I was at boot camp, and every day I would look at his picture, and that was my motivation. He was my motivation to be a better person.
Yeah, he was your why.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And it's interesting, like you said, and not everyone makes the decision you made, right? Because life always gives us two choices, right? And you could have went the other way, right? And there's plenty of women that do that.
Yeah.
And as we talked before we went on, and I'm a big fan of women, especially good women.
Yes.
And now you know my definition of a good woman.
Right.
Handles her business both personally and professionally. But you had that choice.
Yeah.
And that's what, women out there that are looking at this, that are hearing your story, or the young girls, right, that might be in the same position you were in, or this story might not, might help them move in a different direction. And that's what I mean.
Awesome.
And that's why this show is my oxygen, because your story's not about you.
Okay.
It's about those other people that are listening. They're going to get that aha moment. We're going to get that and say, it's not just me.
Yeah.
I'm not alone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that would be incredible if somebody could be impacted by my story.
You'd be surprised and blown away about how your story will enhance and help other people.
Good.
And I always say you were bad enough to make it through.
Right.
Now it's your obligation to share it.
Well, I'm too damn stubborn not to.
That's right.
So.
That's right. It's the redhead.
Right.
I learned that.
Yes.
I learned that.
It's true.
See?
It's a true story.
I know.
Yeah.
So you're in the Navy.
I was.
You have your son. Now what?
So I was in the Navy, and I knew being in the Navy was never something I aspired to do, although I'm very proud that I served my country, and it's, it was a wonderful decision.
4 years?
6 years.
6 years?
6 years. But I knew there was something else out there for me, something else I wanted to do. So I, as a single mom, I put myself through college, and it took
While you were in the Navy?
While I was in the Navy and raising my son.
What did you learn from the Navy? Like, what were some of the key things that you bring to life now? Bring to your life now? Was it discipline? Was it?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I'm sure it kind of calmed me down a little bit. I think being a mom provides more discipline than anything.
Right.
5 minutes early is on time.
Okay.
5 minutes early is on time. That's always 5 minutes early.
That was their thing.
I don't know. Somehow I've got that in my head, and I'm sure it was. Yeah,
Okay.
You don't ever want to be late.
Yeah. And just so everyone knows, you were an hour early tonight.
I was
So,
an hour early.
I love
I was
it.
totally stalking you, apparently.
I love it. No, but
yeah.
but like you said, it's important to you, right?
It is.
To be on time and do what you say you're going to do,
right,
when you say you're going to do it. And that there's some things I want you to share once we get through this this journey.
Oh no.
So you're putting yourself through college. You're in the Navy.
Right.
I'm sure you're traveling, or no? They kept you in San Diego,
So
right?
because my primary focus was really being a great mom to my son, I had to go away to a couple different places on occasion for training, but I got very lucky in that I was stationed in San Diego, and my parents live here, and they're a big shout out to them because they were kind of my husband. That
was
and they helped
support.
me. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So I got really lucky in that regard. I know a lot of people in the military don't have that. That option.
But I believe it all starts with you, so you attract it, right? So, you attracted those circumstances to come into your life. So own it. Awesome.
Great.
Awesome. Love it.
I did
Love it. Forget the luck, right?
Yeah,
Keep that in your pocket. But it's all about you. So you get out of the Navy. Now what?
So I got out of the Navy and I was still finishing school, obviously being a single mom and in the Navy. I was not on the 4-year plan or the 6-year or the 8-year.
That's all right.
But I never thought that I wouldn't finish. I was always determined to get that done. It was something.
Why?
Part of it was my parents. They're incredible parents, and they were huge motivators, and that was important to them.
Okay.
But I knew that getting education for me, whether it was at college or some kind of training, was going to open more doors. Okay. And I love to learn. I love to learn new things. I love to hear about what people are doing. I mean, I was fascinated by it.
So did you notice yourself, because you said in high school or middle school, you weren't giving everything you had. Did you notice that you were in college?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I went from... I would say, there were some times that I'm surprised I was moved on to the next grade to graduating college with a 3.8.
Wow.
So, huge transformation.
It's interesting, right? Think about this. The same person, right? The same DNA. It's just a paradigm shift that ties into your why, right? So your son was your ultimate why.
Yes.
Then your parents became a huge why,
yeah.
right? And then that trickles down to what I believe is the epicenter of all of us, your self-image, right? Your self-image didn't allow you not to do the best you could and almost get a 4.0, right?
Yeah.
And crush it. And I, like I said, I'm a huge believer that everything that I talk about trickles down to one thing. It's your self-image. You can build it up, you can tear it down, but you cannot outperform it. So you were building your self-image whether you realized it or not.
Yeah.
Which is, I love that.
Apparently.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you graduate, right?
I did. I graduated from San Diego State.
All right.
Actually, go Aztecs.
With what?
My degree was actually in Geographic Information Systems. Yeah.
What does that mean?
What the heck is that? I always hear that. Essentially, I could tell you the clinical spatial temporal awareness.
But you'd lose me.
Yeah. It essentially means that I was provided the education so that I could plot certain points or predict certain things based on space and time in mapping and in various programs.
So was that a passion of yours? Did you enjoy it?
So I bounced around a lot.
Okay.
And we talked a little bit about you can relate.
Entrepreneurial DNA.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
The shiny object.
Yes. So I love geography. I love to travel. I love to be outdoors. And I was an IT major.
Okay.
And I found out that GIS kind of married those two. So I kind of fell into the field.
Okay.
And I stayed in it for a very brief amount of time and realized that I didn't have the passion.
It just didn't get the juices flowing.
I just wasn't fired up about it.
Yeah.
And so after doing that for a while, a very short while, I hired a headhunter and said, find me something interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So then what did you find?
So I ended up working in life insurance, which...
Wow.
Yeah. So totally different, but finance and life insurance. And I actually was I was really fired up about it because of the relationships and the sales and I kind of fell into it and became
something
very
new every day.
Something new every day,
Yeah.
and it was exciting, and I learned a lot about how business works and interactions and transactions and. So that part of it was really exciting for me. I had another child, and so my motivation, my why, again, was also being a great mom to my two kids. And I was a single mom still at the time, and I wanted them to have every possible opportunity they can. So I continue to work really hard so that they can have that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's still to this day.
Yep, just not in corporate America.
Now, are you in the life insurance industry still?
No.
No, you're out?
Not even close. No.
Okay. Okay.
I was very lucky. I got married.
Okay.
My husband Daniel,
Okay.
and I finally, since I was no longer a single mom, I was afforded the opportunity to finally do something I wanted, and to finally say, okay, what is it that I want to do with my life?
Who am I?
Yeah, who am I, and what drives me beyond being a mom, which is the greatest joy in the world. But beyond, my goal is to take care of my kids and to be a provider and give them everything I can.
Okay.
Now it's time for me to find what makes me happy. And so in 2014, fires, right?
I was in it. Fire restoration business. We were busy. We handled quite a few.
I'm sure you were inundated. I mean, it was
San Marcos, Carlsbad. It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it was tragic, and even somebody at my daughter's school, their house burnt down. It was horrible. And the fire started right behind where we live in San Marcos. In fact, my neighbor knocked on the door and said, "Look over there," and ran back into her house. And I looked over, and it was flames. And so we had minutes. And you hear that a lot in Southern California. You had minutes to get out. And I looked around my house, and of course, after, the kids and the pets are safe, you think, what's the first thing I'm gonna grab?
Right.
And you you own a business in fire restoration. You've done it for a while. What's the first thing people say?
Yeah, well, I think
think?
it depends on the person, and some are just going to grab their animals, or their kids,
right?
And they're good with that. Some are going to grab personal stuff. So I think it depends on the person, and it depends on the situation, right? When you have that situation where it's breathing down your neck, I think really, and also, if you had more time, or you could rethink it, that's, I think, what people are like, I should have grabbed this, or I should have grabbed that. Yeah. So I know that's so that became an aha moment for you.
It became an aha moment when I realized the next thing I wanted to grab were all my photos.
Okay.
That was because, to me, I can replace everything else. I can replace the computers, maybe not all the data on them, but I can replace that. I can replace my clothes and my shoes, and I can't replace my kids, my family and my pets, and I can't replace my memories that are in these photos. Okay. And so I grabbed what I could, and I had them all over the house, and we left and were evacuated for 5 days, and I was terrified, thinking what's going to happen. And when we went back home and everything was fine and we were safe, I thought, you know what, I don't ever want that feeling again. So I started looking into, how can I preserve and protect my photos? How can I preserve and protect the memories that I have so that I can enjoy them as I get older and maybe forget them, and pass them on to my kids, and pass them on to their kids. So that's when I decided to start 2,000 Paces, so I can help other people preserve their memories.
What's the title mean?
So 2,000 Paces in ancient times represented a day's journey. And I'm essentially trying to help people just kind of capture a little part of that journey, or the whole journey.
So how do you do that?
Oh, wow. It depends on the client.
Okay. So give us an example.
Sure. So people have photos on their walls and in these old albums, and they're yellowing, and they've got them on their computer, because we do digital stuff too. And we come in and we assess it, and we sit down and we have a conversation, and we'll take all those photos and we organize them. We get them in years, we get them chronological, and then we scan them, so we digitize them. So now we've got them in a digital format. We provide.
So you never lose them.
Absolutely. Right. I mean, we back them up, because then if that fire, next time, if we get a fire, which we inevitably are going to get, right?
No question.
There's a reason you have a business of fire restoration.
Yes.
When that fire rips through the house, all I have to worry about is getting my family and my kids out, because I know that all my photos are going to be protected, even those paper ones. Because I've got them backed up, both on an external hard drive and up in the magic cloud.
Right.
So
exactly.
It's incredible. And beyond that, another sort of precursor or motivator for me to do that was many years ago. My son, because I had him very young, he is almost 24.
Wow.
And my daughter's 12. No, he'll be
It's like,
24 in a few weeks.
Is that wild?
I'm stunned. Yeah, I'm stunned. And my daughter is 12, Darian. She's incredible. But I used to, this is back before digital photography became this huge phenomenon.
Right.
And we had traditional cameras, and we would take photos and we would print them out. A strange concept that people don't understand now.
Right,
and,
your 12-year-old's like, what?
Right?
You did what?
Yeah, you print it? Mom, I don't understand.
Right.
So I had a number of photos that were in scrapbooks. It was kind of a fun little hobby for me, and my house flooded. And still to this day, I'm choked up. I lost almost every scrapbook and almost every photo, and that was really hard on me too, because those memories, you've kind of heard a little bit about my own personal struggle and how I worked really hard. And when we used to take photos, we only had a few. I mean, how many photos do we have from our childhood? Maybe a stack.
Exactly.
Maybe a big stack, maybe a few. So they were, most of them were ruined. And at the time, I just thought, well, I have to wash my hands of it. And now knowing that there's probably something, I mean, certainly there's something I could have done prior. There's actually ways that we can salvage photos after they've been in a flood. So anyway, the idea is that we not only try and preserve those memories, which is so important, but try and help people find them. So people now are taking thousands and thousands of photos on their phone. I mean, how many times, ooh, look, it's a, piece of candy, check it out, right? It's a burger, and nobody can find them. So we work with you to help you tag them. So when you're looking for that one picture of your daughter playing volleyball or your son at a soccer match 15 years ago,
can grab it.
You can type it in and you got it.
Wow, that's amazing. So you must have some really cool stories though, because you're with people, right? Now they're going back and they're taking you with them, right?
Yes,
so how cool is that? Like that must be. Look at the smile.
Yeah,
look at the smile.
Right?
That says it all.
Yes.
That says it all. I mean,
it's so true. Words can't even. I'm so glad you said that, because I tell my clients when I'm working with them throughout the project or when we're done with the project, you're never really done with the project. Right. Memories are always going, right? But when we finish a significant part of the project, I tell them I'm honored.
Yeah.
I'm honored that you gave me the opportunity to be a part of your family.
And to take you down that journey, right? To take you down that, and that's interesting to how you and Tom connected with what he does with Eternal Roots.
Oh, he's incredible.
And you guys live in the same neighborhoods.
We do.
The universe is wild. It's wild. It never ceases to amaze.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're literally taking down people's journeys of their whole life, and not only that, even further, their family tree. Yeah. So you must hear some amazing stories.
I do. You know what? I do hear some amazing stories, and when you talk about where people have come from and how much they've grown, it's incredible. When I hear these stories from my clients, and I tell people I'm not just a photo organizer and I'm not just an entrepreneur, but I'm a listener and I'm a coach and I'm an archivist, because I'm providing a listening ear. And I've had clients, we sit down and they will cry because they see somebody that they've lost. Yeah. Or they will have a huge smile on their face because they remember something from their childhood. Or
I can even imagine the ones that didn't think that they were going to get that picture back to the way it was, right?
Absolutely.
Or be able to salvage it or save it. What a great gift, right? So in essence, you're just creating relationships. Yeah. That's what's interesting.
Well, and creating relationships, but keeping those stories alive. Yes. Because the story of where we came from, and you above everybody know this, I think, the story of where we came from so defines
100%.
How we're going to live our lives.
100%.
Right? So
and who we are.
Absolutely. And what decisions you make on that. So when we sit down and we look at these photos, and I recently started working with a new client who her parents and her husband's parents were immigrants, and it's incredible. And these few photos that she has in this story, and listening to her mother-in-law and the story of what life was like
in the old country.
I mean, I don't want to say, I always value my clients' privacy, so I don't want to say too much, but it's absolutely incredible to see what people were able to overcome.
It's awesome.
And then just these few memories that they can now pass on to their kids.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome stuff. So, where do you see yourself going with this company? What's your goal?
Yeah, what's my goal? Well, my goal above all, truly, and I hope it doesn't sound totally cliche, but is to do something that I'm so passionate about.
Which you are.
Which I totally am. I've
Yeah.
never had the opportunity to do something that I just feel so good about.
Exactly. So you start to learn how to put the oxygen mask on first?
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about
Yes,
that, right?
yes.
And I definitely want to put the oxygen mask on everybody else.
I love it. And it's interesting, as soon as I start to ask you about the stories and some of the things that you've experienced with your clients, I mean, you lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
I mean, your smile, really. But
Yeah.
that shows how genuine, right? And you found who you are and what makes you tick and what becomes your oxygen.
Yeah.
Right? And it's so important for people to get that before this ride is over.
Yeah.
Because it's so fast.
Yeah.
Right? Think about this,
Yes.
right? How fast did your son get to 24?
Oh,
You blink your eye,
Yeah.
right? Think about that. Your daughter?
Yeah,
Okay.
my son is 23, my daughter's
12.
12. Yeah.
12 years
Yeah.
old, right?
Yeah.
How quick that went. And if you, I just, for people that go through this journey, however long it is, and can't find themselves and who they are,
Right.
what a sad thing.
Yeah.
Really, it's very sad
Yeah.
that they can't find that, and you found it.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
You know, it's funny because I look back and I think because I had my son young and I thought, okay, I need to join the Navy. And again, totally proud I did that.
Sure.
My brother-in-law is actually on the Carl Vinson right now.
Wow.
So I just, you know,
Awesome.
he's on his way home. And,
Awesome.
and so I'm really excited.
Very
I just
cool.
have to, really grateful to all our veterans and our active
what-
military,
absolutely.
right?
God bless them, yeah.
It's incredible. But, you know, the journey I was on, it felt like I needed to do things because this is what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
And how many people do that, right?
Right.
Like, I'm supposed to go to college, or I'm supposed to take care of my kids, or I'm supposed to get a job that's 9 to 5. And I'm so blessed that I was able to sit down and take some time to say, this is what, and how incredible that I have a business that is currently thriving, and it's exciting, and people call me and they just say, I need help protecting and preserving my memories, and wow, I can relate to that. And the fire, I've had clients say that it literally keeps me up at night worrying about my photos.
Yeah. And it makes sense.
It's just exciting to be kind of on that little journey for a short period of time with people.
I love that, and I love the fact too that we talked about earlier that life always gives us, choices, right?
Yeah.
The life makes the rules, we don't. And
So unfair.
and you went through that tragic time with those fires, but you found a way to make it beyond worth it, right?
Yeah.
To make it really find your purpose, find your path.
Yeah.
And not everyone can say that, so that's a huge thing.
Thank you. I guess
Yeah.
I never really kind of put all that together because I'm just having so much fun.
Right, and you know what? It's so hard to see the picture inside the frame.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh,
we just-
great.
we
I
just-
love that.
we
that
just pulled you
analogy.
outside the
picture
frame.
inside the
But
frame.
it's so true,
Yeah.
Some people jumped on, so we're going to see.
Oh, great.
Let's see who we have here. Let's see here. Hold on.
Hi, guys.
What's up, guys? So we have Gloria Medrano. You definitely want to connect with her. She's an awesome lady.
Oh, great.
What's up, G?
Hi, Gloria.
Tom Lanigard, you heard about
Tom,
him,
I'll see
right?
you this weekend.
Tom Lanigard,
Yeah.
Eternal Roots.
Yes.
He's one of our sponsors. He's our main sponsor. Eternal Roots is an awesome company and offers an amazing service. And so he does personal biographies
It's incredible.
and videography. He'll come to you
Yeah.
and do your whole story and capture it in video and do an interview. Awesome stuff. Just
You know what I love about Tom
Yeah.
is that I love it because his business and my business
Yeah.
obviously they
Oh,
really
it's
relate.
unbelievable.
And so he takes these photos that I've now organized and gotten digitized,
Yeah.
and now, I think that the photos tell a story, but what happens when you find a photo and you don't know who that is, and you don't know that, you know, they worked at
Where does that connect?
Where does it connect, and what's the story, and what were things like in the Depression, or what were things like in the 1950s,
Right.
or what were they like 2 months ago for my, you know, if I had a little baby.
1982, whatever that is, right?
It was a good year.
Yeah, it was a lot of big hair.
A lot of fun. And so Tom takes these stories and allows people to tell them. It's really incredible what he does.
I love it. And again, he completely found his oxygen.
Yeah.
He's, you know, he loves it. So that's, I think that's why we're all in sync, and we create that energy and we attract one another.
Absolutely.
But an awesome guy.
Yes.
And if you have any questions, reach out to Tom, Eternal Roots, and capture that journey before it's over.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Brady J, where do you find all these amazing peeps, Dave? You know what? I'm very fortunate, and I got to say, I tell everyone to take the credit, so I'm going to take the credit. Right?
Yeah.
It starts with you.
Good for
so
you.
The energy you put out is what you get back. Life is a boomerang.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line.
Ooh, I like
and if you're
that.
not happy with the way that boomerang's coming back, change who you are, and that boomerang's going to change. So, Big Brady, thanks so much for
very
jumping
cool.
on.
Yeah.
Stephanie, Verdugo Ayers, if I don't say her full name, she gets mad.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I make sure I say her
No.
full name. And Stephanie would probably love to talk to you about that, because I know she has a lot of great photos that she'd probably want to save. So
great.
you're going to get some business from this.
Oh, great. Well, if I can help her out, that's awesome.
So let's before we do jump off, just give us a really cool story that really hit you with one of your clients. And you don't have to give their name. You don't have to give. Just give us something that really jumps out at you.
I will say that Alzheimer's is unfortunately a disease that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm probably going to start getting emotional. And this one was quite personal.
Okay.
And my grandmother and my aunt actually passed away from Alzheimer's related.
Complications, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the part that was really hard, and again, this happened before I started my company, and I look back and think, I don't know if we really captured their story. I mean, maybe we have their photos, but I don't know the story behind it. I don't know what that means. And so, you know, dementia and memory loss, it's another reason I really encourage people, whether you go through me or you do it on your own or you go through somebody else, you know, one above anything is protect those memories, protect those photos, get them scanned, get them backed up. And number two is the story.
Yes.
You know, so it's one thing to get them protected.
Journey.
It's important.
The
Absolutely.
journey.
I want to know what was my Aunt Shelley smiling at?
Yes.
And what was my grandmother? She was on a pony, and I have no idea. Where was she when she was on the pony?
Where was
And
it?
we'll never know, because by the
Right.
time we started asking the
Sure.
questions, her mind was
Well, that's
gone.
and that's a great aha moment, right?
Yeah.
And that's great wisdom to share, because you experienced it. So if you can help somebody not experience that, right? And capture those stories, capture those memories.
Yes.
That's an ultimate gift right there,
Yeah.
girl. Love
It
it.
is.
Love it. I love it. So.
Protect your stories, please.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's what you do, and that's what Tom does.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I love that, and I love that I connected with you guys. Loved your story.
Good.
Right, and
Thank
I love
you.
that you wear those scars with pride, because we all have them, and it made you who you are.
Yeah.
And you had a big enough why, and you still do. I love it.
I've got quite a few whys, and I'm grateful for it.
I love it. I love it. So, as you know, we end the show the same way every time.
Yeah.
And
I've been practicing.
That a girl.
No, I'm kidding.
That a girl.
I haven't, but
that a girl.
yeah.
So, I'm a big believer that you can only be in one state of mind at a time. And if you're in that victim state, there's absolutely no room for gratitude in that moment.
Okay.
But if you're in that gratitude state, if you're in that great feeling state, at that moment, there's no room for anything else.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
So life always asks the questions, right? And life says, Rachel, if you could live your life purring like a kitten or roaring like a lion, what would you do?
Oh, I'd be a lion all the way.
That a girl.
Yeah.
Red hair, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
On three, we're going to take it out.
Okay.
Monster Motivator style. Do you have something to share? Go ahead.
No, I'm just super grateful that I had the chance to be here, and I feel like I got like a little counseling session before. Seriously, I'm kind of glad it wasn't recorded. I mean, Dave,
yeah.
you're
Actually,
incredible, and I'm so fired up, and I'm so excited.
Love it. You're monster motivated.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's who we are, girl.
Absolutely, yeah.
So on 3, we're gonna take this out, Monster Motivator style. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ah!